Conscience is the quiet voice that never lies. I want to talk about something that follows me everywhere, something that speaks even when I don't want to listen, something that whispers in the quiet moments, interrupts me in the loud ones, and refuses to disappear no matter how much I try to ignore it. I'm talking about conscience, that inner voice that feels both deeply personal and strangely universal. And the more I live, the more I realize, conscience isn't just a moral compass. It's a mirror. It shows me who I really am, not who I pretend to be. When I say conscience, I don't mean guilt. Guilt is what comes after I've already crossed a line. Conscience is what warns me before I do. It's the subtle tension in my chest when I'm about to say something unkind. It's the hesitation before I make a choice that benefits me but harms someone else. It's the discomfort I feel when I'm not being honest, not just with others, but with myself. Conscience is the part of me that refuses to let me betray my own values. I've noticed that conscience doesn't shout. It doesn't force. It doesn't threaten. It simply reminds. It reminds me of the person I want to be. It reminds me of the promises I've made to myself. It reminds me of the standards I claim to live by. And when I ignore it, I feel a kind of inner dissonance, like I'm out of tune with myself. That's the strange thing. Conscience doesn't punish me. It reveals me. There are moments when conscience feels like a burden, when I want to take the easy path, but something inside me says, no, that's not right. When I want to justify my behavior, but conscience refuses to let me twist the truth. When I want to pretend I didn't see the wrong I did, but conscience keeps replaying it until I face it. In those moments, conscience feels inconvenient. But later, I realize it was protecting me, not from others, but from becoming someone I wouldn't respect. Conscience also has a memory. It remembers the choices I've made, the mistakes I've repeated, the lessons I've learned. It reminds me of patterns I fall into. It warns me when I'm about to repeat an old error. It nudges me when I'm drifting toward a familiar temptation. It's like an internal guardian that knows my weaknesses better than anyone else. And it doesn't judge me for them. It simply tries to keep me from being ruled by them. But conscience isn't only about avoiding wrong. It's also about recognizing right. It's the warmth I feel when I help someone without expecting anything in return. It's the quiet satisfaction of telling the truth even when it's difficult. It's the peace that comes from choosing integrity over convenience. Conscience doesn't just restrain me, it elevates me. It pushes me toward the version of myself I'm trying to grow into. I've learned that conscience becomes clearer when I'm honest with myself. When I stop pretending. When I stop hiding behind excuses. When I stop blaming circumstances. Conscience thrives in clarity. It becomes distorted when I lie to myself. It becomes faint when I drown it out with noise. It becomes confused when I let fear or pride speak louder than truth. But when I slow down, when I listen, when I allow myself to be vulnerable, conscience becomes unmistakably clear. There's also a painful side to conscience. It forces me to confront the parts of myself I'd rather ignore. It shows me my selfishness, my impatience, my envy, my pride, my tendency to justify what I know is wrong. Conscience doesn't expose these things to shame me. It exposes them so I can grow. It's like a doctor who points out the wound not to hurt me, but to heal me. And healing always begins with honesty. Sometimes I wonder, where does conscience come from? Is it shaped by my upbringing, my experiences, my beliefs? Or is it something deeper, something built into the human soul? I don't pretend to have the final answer. But I know this. Conscience feels like the most authentic part of me. It feels like the voice that speaks when all other voices fall silent. It feels like the part of me that isn't influenced by fear, ego, or desire. It feels like truth. And truth has a particular sound. It's calm. It's steady. It's simple. Conscience never speaks in complicated arguments. It never manipulates. It never flatters. It simply says, you know what the right thing is. And the moment I hear that, I know exactly what I must do, even if I don't want to do it. Living with conscience isn't always comfortable, but living without it is impossible. Because without conscience, I lose myself. I lose my direction. I lose my integrity. I lose the quiet inner peace that comes from knowing I'm aligned with my values. Conscience is the anchor that keeps me from drifting into a version of myself I wouldn't recognize. So what is conscience? For me, it's the inner witness, the inner guide, the inner truth teller. It's the part of me that sees everything, even the things I try to hide. It's the part of me that wants me to be better, not for others, but for myself. It's the part of me that refuses to let me settle for less than what I know is right. And the more I listen to it, the more I realize conscience isn't my enemy. It's my ally. It's the quiet voice that never lies. It's the voice that protects my integrity. It's the voice that reminds me who I am and who I'm trying to become. Conscience is the truth inside me, and when I follow it, I feel whole.